Hello and welcome to my video today. It is a species report for my Equine Science 140 class in Scottsdale Community College in Maricopa County in Arizona. The project involves generally describing the 7 natural behaviors of a horse as well as with the species of our choice. I chose the Canadian Lynx. All of the books and the articles, the research article and video that I chose for this will be listed in the comments section. I'll refer to it here, but in order to expedite the video, allow me to begin. The horse's scientific name is Equus caballus, and the Canadian lynx's scientific name is Lynx canadensis. And the 7 natural behaviors are ingestive, eliminative, caregiving, agonistic, protective, sexual, and investigative. I'm going to start with the ingestive of the horse. They are herbivores. They eat grass. Their bodies are specially designed to eat grass in the plains, as well as to flee, so they have long legs in order to eat. They need a long neck and a long head with eyes above they can see over the grass. They will eat 15 to 17 hours a day, and the way that they eat their grass, and by the way, that's why they amble their 5 to 18 miles that same day as well. If the food is not dense or nutritious enough, they'll eat up to 19 hours of the day, and they're awake approximately 20 hours a day. They will use their lips to select the grass. They will pull that in and nibble it and break it with their incisors. They'll use their tongue to push it back into their jaw, and they will grind their lower teeth against the upper teeth to grind the grass. And they do not have a fixed mandible to the maxilla. Their influences of what they eat come from their mother. The foals watch what the mother eats, and they even engage in corporophagy, eating her manure, to find out what tastes are acceptable and non-toxic to eat. They have an innate preference for sweet, high fiber, high carbo, and they like the young grass. Let's just flip this over here. Next chart. Canadian lynx, however, are very specialized hunters. They rely primarily on the snowshoe hare. They hunt and live in the coniferous forests, and their bodies are made to help them walk on the snow to hunt these hares. They're only about twice the size of a domestic cat. The bones in their paws are as long as a human's. They have webbing between with tufts of fur. Their back legs are longer so that they can walk on the snow and leap up and pounce to use their very powerful fused jaws and sharp teeth to tear the flesh from the snowshoe hare. They will asphyxiate, crush the skull, and they also eat carrion. And if they need to, they can also hunt voles, birds, and mice. They need to, unlike the horse who eats all day long, they need to eat at least 1 hare every 2 days. And in times of plenty, they will cache them. They eat carrion. They will go back and eat it within 2 days, or they'll visit it. They may occasionally help each other by flushing out hares, but they're primarily solitary. They conserve their energy, and they don't eat the way that a horse does at all. The next, here's something interesting. Page 149 of the Hunter book. They will also sit in the snow, allow their body heat to melt the snow so that they are basically in a foxhole of snow, and they ambush their prey. They not only don't eat like horses, they don't ambulate to get their eating like horses. Well, I don't know if you call it ambulating. So for ingestion of drinking, horses prefer their water ambient temperature. The entire herd will go to the water at least once a day. They drink based on hierarchy within their band, and if there's other bands at the watering hole, it's also based on hierarchy there among the different herds. When they do drink, they submerge their entire lips to the water, they part it a little bit, and their tongue pulls back to create a vacuum, and they can drink 1 swallow per second, an average of 30 liters a day, and in very extreme hot temperatures. Take that back. And when it comes to the cats drinking the lynx, they get their water from the prey that they eat. They will drink from any available water source. In the video that I linked from the Nature Show series, the documentary, it shows about 18 minutes and 31, the young female is ambulating around her territory and drinking. But the question I had for my research scientists that I selected, I had 3 questions I wanted to ask them. Well, 4, but 3. One was in regards to drinking. How much do they drink? How often do they drink? And so cat tongues, all of them have, not all of them, but generally cat's tongue has barbs, and they don't draw their water in by vacuum. They use the barbs on their tongue, they lap down, they grab it, and they pull their tongue in, and they bring the water back into their mouth. The next behavior I want to talk about is defecation. So horses, pass manure, dung, balls, and they're prompted by sight when they see another manure or they smell it. The stallions will manure in piles, and they will latrine themselves away from where they're eating because they don't eat where they manured if they can avoid it. The stallions will also put their manure on top of females or other males to claim ownership. So as they eat 18 hours a day, 15 to 18, they also have digestion and manure. The manure gets into the rectum, they raise their tail, it pushes out automatically, and they just go about their business. They can manure up to 31 pounds a day, and it averages about 1.5 gallons per manure dropping. Urination, they will also latrine themselves. They don't eat where they urinate. They don't eat grass that's manured or urinated on. They urinate about 2 gallons a day, and they will kind of abduct their legs. I call it the anti-splash position. They will raise their tail high and open the legs up to urinate. Males and females do the same thing. Males will also do it to claim their territory, and females will also urinate as part of their breeding to attract a man, to attract the stallion. When it comes to the feline's urination, I did see that the adult lynx will mark their home range with feces, sprayed urine, or anal secretion, and the urine scent marks every 45 to 91 meters. That was the other question for my specialist. The kittens will bury their scat, and the adults do not. I don't know about the urine. It's hard to find. So the horse reproduction behaviors. Horses reproduce they go into estrus in the spring, and they will cycle every 6 weeks or so. The male, on page 202 of the McGreevy book, it says that in free-ranging horses, a harem stallion constantly checks on his mares and stays connected to them because the mares have the role in when copulation happens. Every article I read said that the mare will face the stallion head on and come at him with her hips swinging. The visual cues are she will also turn and face her rump to him, raise her tail, expose her external reproductive labia, and urinate, squirt, and wink. And they will have a brief courtship where they nuzzle, they nibble, they will go off to the side. She'll brace herself in order to accommodate his weight so he can mount her, enter her, copulate, and ejaculate. She'll step forward, he can step down or slide down. They'll stay together for a little bit and go about their day. The stallions are involved in prenatal contact with the mares and postnatal care with the foal. And they also breed based on hierarchy, and the estrus is related to daylight hours. The lynx reproductive, they have an estrus of 3 to 5 days in the spring between February and April. There's one noted case where the lynx lost her litter. She cycled again, bred again, and had 1 kit in May. Generally, they breed 1 time a year. The pair bonds are short. The male is not involved in prenatal or postnatal, but there are no sighted breedings documented anywhere, and this is 2022. But according to DNA tests of various litters in an area, they do believe that the lynx are polyamorous. The male's lynx's territory can overlap with females. They wail to each other, and I'm going to move on from there. Okay. Horse caregiving and seeking. On page 265 of the McGreevy book, it says that bonding is critical to a foal's survival, and the dam will separate from the band to deliver. She may bring her bonded friend who will stay at a difference because it is imperative that the dam and the foal have a cohesive bond and that he can recognize her as she can recognize him. She will also lick the foal for about 30 minutes after delivery to stimulate his respiration. They are bonding, and she's also sponging him dry. Within 2 to 3 hours, she will deliver her placenta, stand up, he should stand up or she should stand up, and start suckling. They're innately driven to go towards a dark place about udder height, and she will nudge him and has a special nicker for him. And then after 2 weeks of close proximity, their bonding is consolidated, and the foals will return to the dam whenever something novel happens. They will circle her. 269, page 269 says the dam will tolerate his play until they're old enough to play with their peers, about 7 to 8 weeks. And speaking of care bonding, caregiving, care seeking, they will bond and have pair bonds based on age and rank. Females will bond with females. Occasionally the stallion will bond with his lead mare. And usually female to female, they can be more aggressive with each other, but less intense in that aggressivity. Social groups help protect against predators. They mutually groom each other to maintain the bond. They will fly swat each other. They will nuzzle each other. And natal bands are generally female, and they can pair bond for life within their band. The lynx caregiving, care seeking begins with the mother. She will deliver her kits in a lump or in a log or a den, and she has a birthing den that is only for birthing, and once everybody is born and cleaned, she will take them to other dens. For the next 6 to 8 weeks, she will use about 6 different dens. The kits are born completely dependent with no teeth, no vision, poor hearing, and in about 10 days they'll have okay hearing. They'll weigh about 175 grams, and within 300 days they can weigh up to 8 kilograms. They will stay with her, and she will use the dens until they start foraging at about 8 weeks, and then 50 days more they're able to keep up with the mother's pre-pregnancy foraging range. They will go with her, they will learn to hunt, and by next spring they'll be able to hunt on their own, and by 2 they're at adult size, and by 2 they'll usually be able to breed. Females will stay near the females. They will have territories near their mother, and they will generally help each other hunt. Agonistic behavior on page 128 for the book of Horse. It says this term covers aggression, protest, threats, defense, and avoidance. Non-agonistic behaviors far outnumber agonistic behaviors. Cohesion is in bachelor bands with hierarchy. Stallions will fight. Striking with the front is aggressive, overt. Rear kicks are defensive, bites are aggressive. They signal beforehand with the tense body. That's the stallions as well. When their ears are flattened and back, they're giving a strong cue. The number one way groups get together is through submission and deference. So when the ears go flat, that means that's giving a very strong cue. The flatter the ears, the stronger the cue. The eyes can be open, the nair is folded, the lips can grimace. Generally, the message will be received by someone picking up their head and turning it. That's usually enough to end the deal. But the stallions will fight to protect their bands. They can do serious injury. They're trying to knock each other down, and as well as can break legs. When it comes to lynx, there's some... I recommend, there's a YouTube video, I'm going to include it, of 2 lynx have a conversation. There's also videos of lynx wrestling. Lynx have tufts of fur, very sharp claws. I believe that they're trying to be economical in saving their energy as well, because they're not only predators, they are also prey. Cougars and wolves and other animals prey upon the lynx. They are solitary, they hide, they are difficult to find, but this video of 2 lynx have a conversation shows these 2 lynx on their back haunches. Clearly there's people involved interrupting the program, but they're rowling like little lions, and they're coming up to each other, and they do that several times, and one of the lynx's tuft of fur touches another one who picks up the paw, and that's about the end of the video. They will mark their territory to avoid others to stay away. Protection. A horse, their number one means of protection is fleeing, flight, running away. Live in a close, cohesive herd. They learn from the dam what to eat so they don't eat poisonous food. They will defensively kick if a fight can't be avoided, but their social living increases their surveillance opportunities for danger. They look to herd leaders for clues, and they avoid fights. For investigative, somebody in the herd will raise their nose. They have special membranes in the nose so they can blow out like a snort in order to smell in really great. They have good hearing, good smelling, and usually when the herd hears somebody blow, it alerts them all that something is up. They will look for the leader, and if the leader is going to go investigate, they will be tense. They will go up and possibly trot to it, circle around to get their courage up to see. Normally, they're going to run away. That's their number one. Protection in a lynx, I believe, is avoidance in order to be economical with their energy and to not get hurt so that they can hunt another day. And that's another question for my research specialist I wanted to ask. In conclusion, they also want to know the difference of bringing these animals into domestication or captivity. Both of them are trapped. The horse wants its locomotion while it eats, and when it's in captivity, it cannot eat for 15 to 17 hours a day, nor walk 5 to 18 miles a day, generally. And the lynx wants to be hidden, reclusive, not seen, and to roam its territory to hunt. They do not breed in captivity. As a matter of fact, when horses are bred in captivity, it doesn't go as well as when they're out free-range breeding, mating for rates of pregnancy. Thank you very much for watching my video. I wish you a beautiful day.